Welcome to GoldBoys Live, presented by Pickett Sports Sleeper Picks. We are on the chats here, so hit us up. Marvin is already sending out uh, some messages here. He's ready some crush some bets. Kyle says happy Tuesday, and then another happy Tuesday. Not sure what's going on.
It's Wednesday, right?
Brad, Josh, it is Wednesday. We're supposed to have a day game starting with Marlins Reds. That's in a rain delay, so we'll get to baseball. We're going to do some college football. Me and Brad are going to give away our 4 college football teams. Josh, you can jump in too. Boys, what's going on? I think we should start with this. Josh sent a message a couple hours ago, like an hour ago, and I want to know what your thought is on this, Brad. So I'm pretty sick right now. Not sure if you guys want my sweaty face and red nose on the screen. To be honest, are you buying or selling this? Josh, is he sick or did he just want a day off?
Look
I
how
think he wanted a day off. I
wanted
thought
a day off.
you could have been sweating some bets. So.
Yeah, day off is minus 400.
Yeah, right, dude. I mean, do you not hear this? The nasally. I thought it was Tuesday. You guys convinced me it was Tuesday.
Your nose looks like a regular nose to me, man. You don't look like Rudolph or
know,
anything.
I've been putting a lot of cream on it. It looks a lot better.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
But
I'm
honestly,
sure.
Oh man.
All right. How was your guys? How was your night last night?
Good man. I had scout school last night, so now we prep. I pick out which games I'm going to go scout for college football this year.
Give us one tidbit from scout school. Like what do they teach you?
What do they teach you? Don't insert yourself too much into the media. So like basically you're there to scout. You're not there to make sound bites. A lot of people want to be like the man or seen or heard, but that's not your job. Your job's to do your job, go under the radar. But what's cool is like sometimes the schools are really cool. Like when I went to Wake Forest last year, I was in like the president's suite, went to the AD suite. Like they treat you like royalty. Other schools, let's go like Michigan. I don't want to say Mississippi State treats you bad. Like we had home cooked meal, we had different food every quarter, but like you can't go on the field. Like so, it's just different between every school.
that's weird.
What do they teach you though? Is it like offensive linemen watch how they bend? Have you gotten into that?
No, so I scout for I scout the teams, not the players. They just teach you like do's and don'ts, like really, like it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, what we want to do is we want to pick teams in our power rankings, pick compelling matchups for the later in the bowl season. I also this is like my year 5, so like I don't really pay as much attention, if that makes sense. Like I'm just kind of there just to mingle and hang out.
So you're not learning how to be a scout.
No.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I was just curious.
It feels like they just want everybody to be in line on the same page about like how to act and like what the expectations are, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, what do we got bets today? We got, like I said, Marlins Reds is supposed to start. That got delayed. Brewers
It starts in 15 minutes. Let's talk about that. If anybody has any action, I want to see what you guys were looking at.
I took Reds money line first 5. I just think Ashcraft has gotten on track here. I've always liked his stuff. His results have been mixed, but his results have been good. I think 6 out of 7.
Even really good.
Starts. Do we have an official start time?
It said it was 15 minutes right before. Yeah.
So
1:10 first pitch. Oh, so we're getting going here.
Yeah, we're gonna get going in like.
So we're gonna take Reds first 5. I like that. Ashcraft has been doing pretty good. I was gonna take him over 17.5 pitching outs, but like I told you guys, I got limited. I can only bet $1 on that. But I can bet more on first 5.
Wow. How about this one? I don't know if are we allowed to post did you guys see what they posted in the chat?
What?
DraftKings says Michael Harris plus 2,200 to get the first hit, and there's some thought maybe he could lead off because Acuna got hit on the elbow and he'd be out. I don't know. When Acuna sits, does Harris lead off? Is that worth a shot?
Oh man, I got
limited.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Acuna hasn't missed much this season.
Yeah.
The thing about Cueto is
your boy.
It's my guy for sure. You got to hit home runs off him. Like he's not necessarily someone. He's a boomer bust in that sense. Like you're gonna get big power off him, or he's gonna get it by you. And he's still pitching that way the last 3 times he's been out. So, like these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I've stayed away from this series after incorrectly getting the Brandon Williamson had a good game and that dicked me in this one. So I just thought there was value in other places. Stayed away from this one.
Cueto with a 5.3 ERA, by the way, on the road in Cincy where the ball travels.
Yeah.
I like Cincy here.
It's a good bet. I mean, minus 125. You still get a decent number for
it. Anything else jump out to you guys? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, not from this game, but hold on. Let me pull up my stuff real quick. There was a couple of games that I thought we could get some good home runs in.
Dude,
but let me talk about my. Okay, cool. Give your home run bet, and then I'll give you mine once my stuff loads up.
If you're feeling up to it, not if you're too sick to give it, you don't have to.
No, I took the time to come on this show, and I'm gonna just keep powering through it. I would like to be recognized for my perseverance roughly every 10 minutes if you could
We've
bring it
definitely
up.
recognized you.
Thank you, thank you. Um, dude, this Houston game, I don't like both pitchers. Honestly, I mean, Javier, what'd you get him at 4.5 strikeouts, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute, and I don't hate that at all, but I still feel like fading him with how bad he's been. So I went my favorite bet. Oh, I just pulled up the wrong sheet, but my favorite bet from this one is the over, because I don't like both pitchers, and it's at 9 for Flaherty and Javier.
That's
But
fair.
I also am going to consider Yordan Alvarez first home run of the game plus 750. If you look at his expected numbers in this matchup, he's supposed to crush the ball. He's got like an expected 621
It is
slugging.
9.5 at DraftKings. Where are you seeing the 9?
Is it 9.5 now?
Yes.
You can definitely still get 9. Let me pull up Pickett because it's
Okay.
great. But either way, like for Alvarez, if you wanted to throw a home run in there, if you want to take Alvarez to get a hit and the over as well, you can get that at like plus 185. Let me pull up Pickett for the best number on the total though.
9. I checked 3 legal books here in Connecticut. They're all 9.5.
That's cool. You have to use Pickett, you know.
Did you would you still play it at 9.5?
I really liked it at 9. Oh yeah, you can't
Well,
get
yeah.
anymore. It sucks when I do this at night, huh?
Yeah, maybe check the lines before we come on. Maybe.
I mean, it's early, you know what I mean? I'm doing stuff until like 8:30. You know, it's like West Coast out here. No, I don't like it at 9.5. I'll be
Okay.
honest with you.
All right.
I
What do you
really
like,
don't.
Brad?
I really don't.
Yeah. I'm just giving out a couple home run players
Jordan
that I
homer.
like today. I'm going to take 2 from the same game, which is kind of sketch because it's not Tuesday. We're not getting paid extra. But I'm going to take Ian Happ and Lindor from the Cubs Mets game. Good pitching matchups there. Great win for us. I'm going to take Casas, Red Sox. I'm going to take total bases
Your
and
boy.
home run. Yes, my boy. And he's been okay. Hasn't been as great, but his numbers are still good. Hard hit percentage is up. I don't even know where it's at. I'm just memorized him at this point. Isolated power is really good. And there was one more. It was, and then I'm going back to Adolis to hit a home run. I feel like anytime I bet him to hit a home run, he doesn't. So it's time for him to get me a home run there. But let's talk about my plays that I like. I know you're fading this game, Josh, but I took Javier over 4.5 Ks. I just think the number is too low. Like he hasn't been great, but he's still striking people out. Like, he's like one of those guys where it's like, oh man, he just gave up 5 runs, but he has 6 strikeouts. He's going against a high strikeout team. And then the other one was, I just didn't think this should be plus money. It was Fareed. Fareed, I talk about this angle that I use a lot in baseball where you have a really like not bad team, but like a bad team or a team that's lower or worse than the other team, and they run it up really high against their good pitcher the night before. I like bouncing back with thinking that they're going to have a higher chase percentage and a higher outside the zone percentage because they're trying to kind of replicate the success they had the night before. So I took his strikeouts and I laddered him as well to I think to 7 and then to 9. I didn't play the ladders high at all. That was like 0.2 units on the ladders, but I did put a unit on his strikeouts because it was plus 105, which I just think it's a good angle for a team that all automatically strikes out a lot.
Leadoff single here for Soler. How about this? How about just a Rangers Braves money line parlay? Freed against the Pirates. I know it's only a second start back. Rangers going with Montgomery against the A's. They've just been pounding the A's.
I like
Minus
that.
121. They both win. It's simple, but look, sometimes simple's the way to go. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I like it. I couldn't have taken. I didn't want to take the Rangers on the run line. It's just too much. But I was looking for a parlay piece with it. That's pretty solid.
What's the A's Rangers pitching matchup?
Montgomery is going against.
Yeah.
Boy, why doesn't Rivers doesn't list the pitchers? If you're
someone we have
sports
not heard of, probably
list the pitchers. My goodness,
I have
what
it.
are you doing?
Because
I am getting a new computer soon, so my stuff will stop freezing as much, and I'll be a lot faster. So,
like, how much stock do you put in that the Braves are not going to get swept? So they just use that and Max Fried.
They won last night, so they're definitely not going to get swept.
Oh, they did win last night. They came back.
How about the Astros comeback? Holy smokes!
Yeah, that was a great comeback. Pruitt is pitching for the A's.
I'm still not loaded, so good.
Things are not processing.
My man's sick. He's really milking this sick stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I last night is blurring into this morning, into the night before. At this point, like I don't fucking know. You want another bet that you guys should fade then?
Yeah, hit us.
Is it a line that's available?
Hopefully. I mean, I already bet it last night, so I don't know. But I got Phillies money line. I also parlayed, and it was 180. It's probably still about that. Minus 180, minus 190.
192 at DraftKings.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll still play it. And even Alex Baum to get a hit. If you parlay that, he's hitting like, I mean, he's for average, but he's hitting a lot right now. He's gotten a hit in 13 of his last 15 games. So if you parlay that with their money line, you can at least get it to like minus 110.
It's interesting. His DraftKings at is 1.5 at DraftKings, but I'm sure you can
for hits. Oh yeah, but yeah, on FanDuel you can take each hit. Yeah.
All right. I mean, that worries me a little bit because Gore is wild, so Gore could walk him. That is a little bit.
Sure.
We'll do college in a little bit. Anything else you guys like in the slate? I kind of like the Cubs. I feel like Cubs, Mets, two teams going in different directions. Mets.
Yeah, I took the Cubs.
Peterson hasn't pitched more than 3 innings in over a month. He went from starter to reliever, back to starter. So Cubs have been solid here.
Yeah, taking on the plain bland oatmeal that is Kyle Hendricks. He's like the boringest pitcher of all time. But and he did get lit up by the Mets earlier in this year, but they don't have anybody anymore. I mean, I think McNeil and Vogelbach are both getting sacked consistently. Like, they don't even have any lefties to hit against him. I think the Cubs for sure. They made us sweat it yesterday when I bet them, but
yeah, and they lost the first game, but they're playing well on the schedule. I think they play Toronto this weekend. Their schedule gets plus. You can still get them plus. Their schedule gets easy. You can get them 200 plus 200 at DraftKings to win the division. To me, that's a good price. I can't find it. This kid Hancock is pitching for the Mariners. He's a big time prospect, but there's no pitcher props on him. So I'm excited to see. I was hoping they'd lay like a 3.5 or a 4.5, and I play a small over, but I don't see anything. Don't see anything available. Anything else before we get to football? Anything going on in this Marlins game? I don't have it in front of me. I was going to
put. No, but I think that like a good parlay would be a Gaussman Darvish over outs parlay today. Because Darvish is at minus 170. I just wouldn't play that by itself. I also can't play it until I move my money over, but just for anybody who wants to know.
Yeah, Gaussman was minus 140. That's one where I look at it. Oh, that's pretty cheap. I think I'm going to bet that. Now it's like minus 170. So I can't stomach betting it at this price. I just can't. You guys want to do college? Anybody betting NFL preseason? Anything?
Nothing preseason for me. Okay, this is what I did. Like I opened the board, the preseason board, and I get ready to start handicapping. I started handicapping the first game. And I go, Brad, you are not betting this. I turned it. I closed out of the app. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah. The only thing I would consider NFL, because I was doing a show about it yesterday, and the person I was talking to is starting to convince me a little bit about the 49ers. I think they were minus 130, maybe minus 140 to win the West. Let me pull it back up so Will doesn't yell at me for getting my numbers wrong. But once I started to just like go down this spiral of like, all right, they're a 1 or a 2 seed with the Eagles. Like, I think that's the tier, and the Cowboys are on like a lower tier than both those teams. And then everybody else kind of is in a big mob of globby mess. But like, for once I started going, all right, well, they're minus 160 to win the division right now on DraftKings. Maybe you can find a better number than that. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm not scared of a single team in that division. I'm way lower on the Rams than some people are too. And then once you get to them to win the NFC, I think the best number you can get is plus 400. The thing is like the Super Bowl bet was 10-1. And so that's the one that I'm like, I kept correlating everything, getting to there going, I think that number's a little bit off, considering like, I think that it's a high likelihood that they get to the Super Bowl. So once they're there, I would love them at 10-1. And that's kind of where I used that logic to hit the 10-1.
So that's what you bet 10-1 to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and I also took them 5-1 to make it out of the NFC, to win the NFC.
To win the NFC. Yeah.
And once I was like, I like them so much more than these other NFC teams, I was like, well, don't you want them at 10-1 if they're going to play somebody in the Super Bowl? So that was where I used that. But it was unit control. Like it was a lot more for the division and then a lot less for the Super Bowl.
The only issue is it's Purdy. Like it's 7 games. He was impressive. I'm high on him. It's just, man, it's Purdy. It's Purdy coming off an injury. I thought he was really good. It's still the last pick in the draft, like a 7-game sample size.
So great.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit where he was drafted. Like he was so much better than Trey Lance. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's true.
It's crazy.
So much better.
You got to look at it that way,
Yeah.
So
I think they, man.
What do you like in NFC?
You don't have to make a bet. I mean, I think you're right. It'll come down to, I hate to say it. Like if I had to like a semi sleeper pick, I think Dallas.
The Cowboys,
is really loaded, but I just can't get myself to do it.
I'm going to be betting Dallas a lot this year, and it sucks because futures. I haven't finished my NFL futures yet, but it sucks because it's like I'm going to have to trust Dak, and I don't like trusting Dak.
You got to trust Dak to stay healthy. I mean, when he's on the field with Kellen Moore, they're a top 2-3 offense. Like
Kellen Moore, he doesn't have Kellen Moore.
The point is, if Dak can stay, it was more Dak, I guess, him staying on the field. Wait, where is Kellen Moore now?
LA Chargers. Ooh, San Diego. Burn one.
Did you say San Diego?
Fine. Yeah.
$5 in the swear jar.
Didn't say he's on the Cowboys.
At least you didn't say the Guardian name.
Yeah.
Or the Washington racial slurs. Do you like then? So, but the thing is, like, Mike McCarthy's also being like, I'm gonna be in more control this year. Like, that doesn't make me want to bet on the Cowboys.
Yeah. I just don't. I never trust them. They're good though. That's a really loaded team. Philly has a really tough schedule. They play all the big boys. They play the whole AFC East. So Jets, Bills, Dolphins. They play the Chiefs. They play the Cowboys twice. It's not an easy schedule for them. And every time they played a good offense last year, they got carved up. But going back to San Fran, the other thing that keeps me away, the quarterback. Like I just can't bet a team 10-1, right? I don't know. You got a 7th round, like the last pick in the draft, coming off an elbow injury. Plus, the coach always gags. The coach always. He's just a major
gagger.
Wait a second. Kyle?
Yes, Kyle.
Why is Kyle? I mean, he took him to the Super Bowl already.
Yes, and he blew a 10-point lead with the ball in the 4th quarter, and he didn't challenge the Devontae Smith non-catch that we all saw was non-catch.
And
he blew the Super Bowl with the Falcons, and he punted against the Rams a couple years ago when it was like 4th and a foot. He is so concerned. I call him Cautious Kyle. He's Cautious Kyle.
It's all the smart coaches that end up like themselves.
Yeah. There's also dumb coaches that are also bad at game management, and so I'd rather have the smart one that's bad at game management. But yeah, I do see your point. I think my thing is that I would be much more worried about other coaches before I brought in Kyle as like the poor game manager.
In a big game to win the whole thing. I wouldn't trust him.
Who used to say about Andy Reid until he got Pat Mahomes?
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Pat Mahomes, man, is like he's it. Like they're the favorite if he's on the team.
You think Mahomes is good?
I think he's
Can
really
we clip
good.
That for social media. Josh thinks Mahomes is good.
Wait,
how good though? I think really good. That's the thing.
I was watching quarterbacks, and my girl comes in the room, and I told her I'll bet on the Chiefs again, and she's like, "You're gonna have to turn this off. I don't support that family." And she's all into like, the sports drama, because that's why she stays, that's how she gets tuned in.
She doesn't like Brittany or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Or she like the whole Mahomes family.
She was more likable. I mean, she was I always thought she was really annoying. You watch that series, she's actually more likable.
She's like a ride or die.
Yeah. She's not that bad. She's not.
No.
She's way less annoying than his brother. That's for sure.
Oh, that's yeah. He's a minus 900 favorite over just about anybody. 100%. Let's do we'll get to college football. Brad, do you have anything? Women's World Cup. I feel like people, since the U.S. are out, everyone stopped paying attention. What are we on the quarters? Is there anything worth betting, worth watching in the World Cup?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone.
Giovanna says Brazil. Is Brazil still in it?
No, Brazil got eliminated. Brazil didn't even make it to this round. That's why I bet Colombia.
The Brazil comment.
Here, Women's World Cup. We got it pulled up.
Maybe.
Man, I kind of like Netherlands double chance at -118. That game could seriously end 0-0.
Let's start with this. Who's still in it?
Spain, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Australia, France, England, Colombia. And wait, for anybody who bet anybody who took my Colombia with me, England's best player is not playing. Suspended for stepping on one of the Nigerian players. They're saying at least 3 matches. So that's huge. Colombia is a massive underdog. Like if I want to take Colombia. I couldn't even take like England to advance at any point. But I mean,
What's the number on that?
For who to advance?
For
England?
England to advance.
Oh, dude, you don't want to know.
It's like
Minus 400.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No.
25 to 1. I'm seeing. Is there a better number on Colombia? Is that worth betting? If nobody bet it yet, or no? Just play them game by game, or don't bet it.
I would do half my stake on them to advance.
Okay.
And because their number to advance is really good. It's 3 to 1. So you do half your stake on that, then you have your stake on 25 to 1. And then Netherlands, I think Netherlands have a clear path to the finals if they beat Spain. Like Spain and England are obviously the 2 best teams left, but they all have their holes. It's Spanish football, and again, guys, this is not me disrespecting, but Spanish football has this tendency to do death by 1,000 cuts. It's just a lot of passing, a lot of not really moving too forward in the attacking third, and that's how teams get caught. That's how teams get owned. So
they're the Tampa Bay Rays from a while back, where it was just like, or like the Royals when they went to the World Series, where it's like bunt, single, bunt.
Yeah. So those teams are always primed for an upset. I think if Netherlands wins, it has to be they're going to win in PKs. So like if you want to get more bang for your buck on Netherlands to qualify, you do Netherlands to qualify via PKs. Let me see what that price is.
It's so funny how much they lowered the World Cup on all these books. Like it's not even promising.
Yeah, US got out. Netherlands to win in shootout 10 to 1.
Okay.
Solid price for me.
Okay. We'll do college. Anything golf worth betting? Just a couple.
Yeah, I'll give my golf out right now. I'll be quick. I think you guys should just bet John Rahm at 10 to 1. This is going to be a ball striker who's going to win this. A lot of people want to bet dogs and get dog heavy. Dogs won this. I hit Willie Z last year, and what I did, my model spit out Scotty Scheffler as a number 1, but Willie Z last year was like number 3 on my list, and Finau was number 1 just because of how well-rounded you have to be. But I just took like a lot of really good ball strikers. I went a unit and a half on John Rahm at 10 to 1, available at Pinnacle. Sam Burns at like close to 40 to 1. Jay Day, 40 to 1. Cam Young. Those are all great ball strikers. I took Benny on at 66. Keegan Bradley at 80. And Harris English at 10 to 1. Harris English is just a horse for course. If a guy who's played this tournament so well, and I'm not going to pass up on 100 to 1 stab for him.
All right, let's pick our college football Final Four. Josh, you can jump in too. Do you want to give yours first, Brad?
Yeah, I'll give mine first. Do you want an explanation, or do you just want me to say it?
Sure. Final Four and championship and who wins. So we'll do the whole bracket here.
All right, my Final Four: Georgia number 1. I mean, their schedule's so easy that even if they lose the SEC title game and they lose it close, they probably could still be number 1. I have Michigan at number 2. I have them basically cakewalking their schedule. They have difficult games against Penn State and Ohio State, but they play Ohio State at home. And then I have Florida State at number 3. I still think Florida State, after returning, they have the highest production return at 81% in the country. One of the best D lines in the country, a top 5 wide receiver core, and a quarterback who's a legitimate Heisman candidate. Oh yeah, don't forget their running back's really good too. They just have everything that it only thing stopping them would be coaching. And then I put Alabama at number 4. I'm
Homer.
But no, listen, let me be transparent. I don't mind if you put Alabama or LSU. Whoever wins the West is going to be all right. The only reason I picked them over LSU was because LSU has to go to Alabama this year, and Alabama has one of the longest home winning streaks in college football. I always fear for Alabama's quarterback room when they get a new quarterback, but defensively they're going to have the best secondary in college football. It just needs
who is the favorite to be the quarterback?
Probably Jalen Milroe.
That's not who's the transfer kid that stinks from
Buckner. Buckner will probably be third on the depth chart and then transfer out after this year.
Who are the other guys? Didn't they get a
Ty Simpson? Those are the only realistic guys.
Okay.
There's a couple other guys who have like an outside punching chance, but it's hard because like Jalen Milroe, if Jalen Milroe was a better passer of the quarterback, it would be hands down. He has elite speed, size, elusiveness, and a rocket arm. Then you have Ty Simpson, who is the best passer of the football on the team, but terrible decision making. And then he was hurt during the spring game, so he was only throwing vanilla passes during the spring game because he was really limited. And then Buckner has a lot of experience, bad decision making, and bad mechanics. So it's really, who do you think gives you the best chance to win? It kind of reminds me of like that Jay Coker year where when Jay Coker came in, it was like, now we don't put so much pressure on the quarterback. We do other things well. And I was kind of worried about Tommy Rees at first, but then I watched and broke down Notre Dame a lot more. And Tommy Rees did a really good job without having anybody who could stretch the field. Like, it's hard to be an offensive coordinator if you don't have guys on the outside or a quarterback who could throw deep.
And who you got winning? Who winning over? Like, what's your final?
So I end up having Alabama losing in the first round to Michigan, and then Florida State beating Georgia, and then I have Michigan over Florida State.
Wow. All right. I am going to go Georgia as my 1 seed as well for all the reasons you mentioned. That is just such an easy pillow, soft schedule.
Yeah.
There's no enough talent there, so they probably going to go undefeated in the regular season. I am going to go Penn State number 2. I just think they are stacked on defense. It sounds like this quarterback is talented. That's another team.
Drew Aller is
coach getting in the way. That coach is just dreadful in terms of game management. He'll probably burn me at some point, but I'll take a chance that he gets me to the playoffs. Maybe then he burns me there, but I'll take Penn State as the 2 seed. And then I'll go with a sleeper here. Oregon is my 3 seed. I just think they have a lot of players on offense. That's defense was the issue last year. That's landing side of the ball. So we know the Pac-12 or what used to be the Pac-12 always just gets in their own way when it comes to getting in this college football playoff. But I'll be a little different here and go with Oregon. And I'll go with Bama at number 4 too. I was just giving you a hard time. I still think people are just too quick to kick dirt on them. Most of their tough games, like you said, are at home. Texas, LSU. It's not a brutal schedule.
Tennessee.
Even a one-loss team they could get in. So I will go Bama is the 4, and I will go Penn State versus Bama in the championship. And I'll go with Bama winning the whole thing.
Oh, roll tide, roll! Oh, I've never been so excited for football season. Holy smokes. I'm high on Penn State. They've Katron Allen and Nick Singleton in the backfield. My only problem is they find a way to fumble one of those 2 games against Ohio State or Michigan. And if Wisconsin is the real deal, I think that a Wisconsin who's going to air raid it this year with
Mordecai,
with Tanner Mordecai and Luke Fickell as their coach. I think that'll give a Penn State a trouble because their secondary is not as strong as it was last year. But listen, if Vegas would have been an idiot and set Penn State's win total at 9.5, I would have put my mortgage on it. But it's set at 10, and I'm not going to bet it. I just think it's sharp. It's a sharp line.
Somebody said that I forget who I was doing the show with the other day. JVT on VSiN was like Tanner Mordecai 85-1 for Heisman because they're going to air it out. Like that's worth a number. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I mean it's worth the number. It's just when you have players, Braylon Allen's going to be getting more love than Tanner Mordecai. When you have 2 players stealing votes from each other, it's very hard to win.
Yeah,
especially when you're not a brand name like Tanner Mordecai.
Yeah,
like when we think about what brand names haven't won the Heisman, have won the Heisman. They've all been brand names.
Anything you got in college, Josh? Or you're just week by week?
Yeah, no, I don't really. I kind of stay away, to be honest. Like I watch the games, but
yeah,
during football season, I'm all NFL and then NBA right around the corner.
It's hard to do everything. It really is hard to, especially if you're going to
really
be good
hard.
at everything. It's hard to be good at everything.
Yeah, I mean,
you can tail, but it's
when we're in the midst of NBA season, I assure you, I'll have like probably 3 to 5 bets a day that I'm making. So
that's fair. I have a futures bet for everybody who wants to join.
Oh yeah, give it out.
Michigan State under 5.5 wins. Michigan State. I love your coach has one good year, but they don't pass any of the flying colors in the metrics, and you still give them the bank. So then that makes you an automatic fade year after year because they're never going to live up to that. They have to. These are obvious because they're in the same side for one more year until they go divisionless. But Michigan, they have to play Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State. But they also have to play Iowa in the crossover and have a non-conference game against Washington. They lose their quarterback, lose their top wide receiver, Keon Coleman. They don't run the ball well. They're averaging just 3.8 yards per carry last season. Excuse me. And their offensive and defensive lines are terrible, which doesn't help their bad secondary. So for them to have a good season, it would take a lot of improvements in a lot of areas, which doesn't happen, especially when you have a new quarterback coming in without his top weapon.
Yes. And yeah, like you said, brutal schedule. All their 50-50 games, like the easier teams they play, they're all on the road. So those games are automatic, man. They gave that coach so much, $100 million, something like that.
Yeah.
My goodness. They should Who's the running back that really carried? Oh, it was Walker, right? That
Walker.
year. I
Yeah,
mean, Walker should
Walker.
get a cut of that money because what a
He should.
horrible decision that was to give him all that money. My goodness.
Yeah,
And
man.
they
And,
can't really
listen,
fire him. They can't
they
eat it.
play at Rutgers this year, and I think that Rutgers is going to surprise a lot of people. Rutgers really good defensively. What else?
Interesting.
They have to play at Ohio State, so they're not going to sneak. Like there's going to be one game they sneak, and I think that could be the game where they play Maryland at home. Like they're going
Maryland,
to
I
sneak
like
one.
Maryland. Maryland's not
I like
bad.
Maryland a
Maryland can
lot.
throw the
I like
ball.
Maryland a lot, but if I were to pick, there's always that one sneak game, and that's probably where the most vulnerable. Maryland at home.
If people could only get, like, you gave it out 5.5, if they could only get 5 at like less juice, would you still play it?
Yes.
I would too.
Minus 160 on is the best line I found. It's on a couple of
Yeah.
books, points bet, bet MGM. But if you could find a 5, take it. I'm having a hard time to find 6, and it'll probably be plus money.
They max
if
out
not,
at
plus
5.
even money. Yeah.
They're gonna win. They'll probably win 3 or 4. They're the most, like, I think a really good year would be to get to 5. I don't think they get to 6.
Yeah, like I think they win against Richmond, Central Michigan. They have a chance to win at Indiana. That's the wins I'm giving them.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
3 wins.
That'll wrap it. Good luck with all your plays. Thank you to Brad. Thank you to Josh. Josh, we hope you feel better, man. Thank you for
Thanks,
toughing it
man.
out. Yeah, just our thoughts and wishes are with you.
Well,
very,
look,
very courageous effort.
I just want to say that, like, that's my dedication. I want everyone to know that I'm committed to you guys. I'm talking to you, Giovanni Morez, and Kyle Young, and everybody in the chat. Like, you're the inspiration for this for me, so I appreciate that. Do you guys even care about the ESPN is about to own a fucking sports book?
I don't care. Like, people are gonna care. I don't think they're gonna be in bed with their own sports book. It's just too much. It's too much liability for them to do anything wrong. And the reason that Penn Gaming dropped Barstool was because of the liability they're facing with regulators. If there's even a sniff of inaccuracies or any sketchy business, then Penn loses their gaming license, which is their entire business.
But how do you prove that when you've got reporters just saying whatever they say?
Because they're not going to be doing business in terms of doing business together. They're only going to be a face. Like Fox Bet did the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Maybe we can get more into it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thank you to Pickett. Thank you to Sleeper. Good luck with all your plays. See you guys tomorrow.